Welcome back to another dog training Q&A, and on this video we're going to be helping answering some more of your guys' questions on how to become a high-level canine leader that can raise perfect canine companions. Welcome back to Femre Canine Training. If you are new here, my name's Will. I'm a canine behaviourist. I'm the founder and CEO here at FemreCanineLeaders.com. This is my wonderful wife, Rachel. You guys have been asking some questions over on Instagram. She's collated those questions, going to ask me now, and hopefully we're going to be able to help you guys out. So let's dive straight into it, I suppose.
Okay, so this isn't a specific question, just a question that's come up quite a lot.
Okay.
And that is about
An FAQ.
an FAQ. That puppies and older dogs, to be honest, both, that have become a little bit anxious now that we're sort of easing on lockdown restrictions. They're used to being in the house with just their owners, and now they're being introduced to people again, or going out and there's more traffic on the roads.
Yeah.
And how, just any tips to help people with that, really.
I mean, that's completely understandable. And I think people I suppose humans have realised how habitual we are and how much we like routine. Dogs take that to the next level. Dogs thrive on routine and structure, and socialisation is a huge part of that routine and structure. And obviously with everything that's been going on recently, socialisation has gone out the window and routine has become...
Even for us.
Yeah, and routine has become stay inside. So dogs that were used to being able to go for long periods of time in isolation and on their own quite calmly have got used to people being at home all the time, which has kind of gone polar opposite, which they would prefer, and now having to swing back the other way as lockdowns are eased and people are going back to work is naturally going to cause kind of some distress. So my advice would be, first of all, if you know you're going back to work soon, maybe in a few weeks, a couple of months, start that process now. Even if it means you having to go and sit outside in the car for half an hour, get them used to being able to go those extended periods of time again, and build it up slowly and gradually. That would be the best way about doing it. With socialisation, getting them used to other people, same process applies. Build it up gradually, go to the places where you are allowed to go, and just start to build it up. But if you're in one of those situations like here in the UK with our furlough scheme, where you've been furloughed and you've gone from working full time to not at all, and then, oh, by the way, you're unfurloughed from Monday, you're coming back to work, and it has to be that snap thing, then obviously every case is different at that point. And just try and be as proactive and preemptive as you can in the time that you do have with your dog. Again, try and build it up slowly. If you have got to go to work, things like frozen Kong, fill it with meat pate or peanut butter, freeze it. All the generic advice that you would give to a new puppy to get it used to being on its own again applies for new puppies all the way through to adult dogs. It's about that, getting them used to being on their own. Be really calm when you leave, be really calm when you come home. Give them no praise, no fuss, no attention until they're relaxed and well settled, so that we're never accidentally reinforcing anxious, nervous, excitable behaviour, which then trickles into those bad behaviours. The same applies, really. We've got videos on separation anxiety. I'd go and watch some of those so we're not repeating ourselves.
What about more in terms of like anxiety around meeting people? How, so for example, one email that we had was where the dog had become really fearful when people had come round to the house.
Okay.
And like barking, but also hiding and that sort of thing.
Do you know if this was a puppy or an adult dog that's kind of gone backwards?
It's not a young puppy. It's like a 6-month
Okay.
old
So
puppy.
obviously, ideally, that would say to me then, obviously that puppy has gone through a lot of its development and psychological socialisation periods during lockdown, which is obviously going to impede that socialisation that we advocate, and so many people advocate, is incredibly important. Now, yes, if that's the case, you are going to find yourself in a bit more of a difficult situation, and the answer really is just slowly. Two things: set them up for success, praise and reinforce success. If you find that they're failing, remove them from that failing scenario or those triggers, and then build back up to those slowly. That's kind of the first main part. And the second part, which is where people do go wrong, that's the easy bit. Okay, cool, that's stressing them out, so let's take a step back and we'll build up to that thing gradually. depending on what the thing is that's stressing. If it's busy roads, whack you in the face. If it's busy roads, then go to a quieter road and build up. If it's new people, then do
is that
outside of the home.
I was going to say, is that easier outside of the home than in the home?
Yeah,
or?
maybe to overwhelm them, do it in the garden, build up to it slowly, so when somebody comes into the home, have them completely ignore the dog, sit on the floor with some food and let the dog kind of come to them and just build it up gradually. Those bits are the easier bits. The more difficult bits are going to be not accidentally reinforcing those bad behaviours. You see a puppy, it's difficult with young puppies, is stressed, anxious, fearful, cowering, urinating, shivering, hiding under things. It's very easy for us to go, oh, it's okay, boo-boo, it's okay. Go over and stroke them. We think we're reassuring them, but all we're doing is actually reinforcing that negative behaviour and saying, yes, you should be scared. This is how I want you to behave in this situation and scenario. Our job as calm, consistent leaders is to demonstrate, no, this is an okay situation. You need to look up to me for guidance and direction. I'm in control and I would not put you in a harmful situation. So you got to rework on building that relationship, build up trust, and set them up for success. Yeah, stay calm, remain calm. And if they found themselves in that situation, then it's your fault because you've set them up to fail. It's a difficult thing to kind of, oh, okay, cool. So now you need to find ways of unpicking that, putting them in situations where they can succeed, praise and reinforce that desired behaviour, and then build on that slowly and surely.
And does that same apply for older dogs?
Yeah, it's the same principle.
Yeah.
Obviously, separation anxiety is that word is thrown around all the time. It's probably what is going to be thrown around massively now. As a behaviourist, I can guarantee the behaviourists around the world are going to be swamped with these cases coming out of lockdown. And real, genuine separation anxiety is quite rare. Obnoxious, bad-mannered, learnt behaviour of crying, barking, yapping, gets me attention, gets me praise, gets me fuss is much more common. And being able to determine what that is a bit more of a bespoke situation, so it's not something I can necessarily advise through a video. But the principle, if it's genuine separation anxiety, the modification program for that is a very slow, easy, extremely positive, setting them up for success, building on it. If it is obnoxious bad manners, then we can take a bit more of a tough love approach, and kind of like, no, cut the nonsense. That's not how you get what you want, but you have to know which one of those it is before you go about doing that thing. So yeah, any other thoughts on that?
I don't
talking
think so.
for quite a while.
I was just going to say, it's funny because I think everyone has got to adjust after lockdown. It's like, remember when we first took Jackson in the car?
Yeah.
After lockdown, and he was terrified. He cried the whole first journey because he hadn't been in a car for like 3-4 months. Because we didn't take the boys anywhere. You know, I just never thought about it at the time until we were doing it, and then we went on a walk and a lorry went past and that scared him as well.
It's all going to be the same principle.
Yeah, you just don't think about it, do you, until it's sort of happening, and then...
But how it's our responsibility with our young children to let them know, no, I would not put you in harm's way. This is okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, we'll deal with the situation and we'll learn and you'll develop. We need to do the same thing with dogs, but it's just the way we communicate with dogs, or the way dogs communicate, more importantly, is different to how we might, that kind of more reassuring, nurturing approach that we might have with our children that will work isn't the approach that we should often take with dogs. Because like I say, that nurturing approach with children, because we can have that species to species
two-way conversation,
is different with dogs, because all we're actually doing is reinforcing that behaviour, and that's where so many problems stem from, that exact thing. So again, it's always where obviously canine behaviour and psychology is fascinating and I love it, but it shows when you scratch the surface, it's a whole rabbit hole to go down that we could do hour-long lectures on each one of these individual pieces to the puzzle. So should we leave it there? Yeah. Cool. Let's wrap it that bad boy up. I hope there was some bits and bobs to help with. So I hope that was helpful. At least there was some nuggets that hopefully you could pick out of that. Calm, consistent leadership always prevails. So just be calm, consistent leaders. celebrate success, and you'll be absolutely fine. Just get back to normality. The whole world's going through it. You're not on your own. So I hope that helped. Subscribe if you are new here. If you've got any questions that you want us to do a video dedicated on for you, come over to Instagram. Rachel does a story over on Instagram, and you can ask your questions, and then she collates them.
Can I quickly add something?
Please do.
Quickly, if you have got a puppy during lockdown, or you want some tips generally about socialising, there are a few videos on this channel, if you just look back a little bit, that we posted at sort of the start of the UK lockdown with tips for socialising puppies and dogs during lockdown.
Perfect. And that's what we're trying to do here, is build like a bank of videos that are like FAQs. So hopefully within a few months, we've done so many of these that any question anybody could have, if you just go back, you'll be able to find them. That's kind of why we're doing it. So hope it was helpful. We'll see you on the next episode of the Femro Canine Training.